Beneath the surface of Clearwater Reservoir lies a darkness few dare to speak of, a story buried under ripples of forgotten tragedies and whispered secrets that have chilled the hearts of those who live nearby for generations. Known to locals simply as the Drowning Place, this seemingly peaceful stretch of water in rural Tennessee has a reputation far darker than its placid reflection suggests. The haunting began decades ago when stories surfaced about a series of unexplainable disappearances near the lake's southern shore, where ancient trees dipped their branches into the water like skeletal fingers reaching for lost souls. An old man named Everett Dawes, a lifelong fisherman, was among the first to recount hearing disembodied voices calling his name across the water on misty mornings, when the horizon blurred and the line between reality and nightmare thinned. He claimed the lake whispered in tones of children, his laughter and mournful cries that didn't belong to any living soul. Over time, his warnings were dismissed as the ramblings of age, but when a group of hikers vanished near Clearwater's northern trailhead in 1983, leaving behind a campsite eerily untouched, the local sheriff quietly admitted there was something unsettling about that place. The legend grew with each eerie incident: sudden temperature drops that made goosebumps prickle flesh, unseen hands tugging at clothes, and the unmistakable feeling of being watched from beneath the glassy water's surface. Paranormal investigators from nearby towns arrived, intrigued by the consistent reports of strange occurrences, capturing audio recordings of soft, pleading voices and anomalous electromagnetic fluctuations. Even skeptics who ventured out on the lake at dusk recounted uneasy sensations and inexplicable chills, as if unseen eyes tracked their every movement. Adding to the town's unease was the history of Clearwater's creation. Built atop a former village called Marrow Glen, which was flooded in the 1940s, to make way for the reservoir, displacing families and submerging homes, a church, and its graveyard. Some claim the restless spirits of those denied a proper resting place now haunt the waters and surrounding woods, forever trapped between worlds. A local historian, Anime Ridley, unearthed maps and old journals detailing tragedies in the area, including the mysterious disappearance of a young girl named Eliza in 1911, whose body was never found, though her name has been reportedly heard in whispered voices by lakeside visitors even today. Campers and thrill seekers who stay overnight often report waking to hear splashing sounds with no visible cause, shadows moving across the lake despite the absence of moonlight, and soft knocking against their tents as if summoned by invisible hands. Perhaps the most unnerving encounter was shared by a group of university students filming a documentary about haunted places who caught on tape a spectral figure standing on the lake's edge, its features obscured by mist before it vanished as they approached. The footage, though grainy and debated by skeptics, remains one of the most compelling pieces of evidence tied to Clearwater's haunted reputation. Some residents avoid the reservoir entirely, refusing to fish or swim within its waters, and warning newcomers with an eerie simplicity. The lake remembers. Old wives' tales and folk tales passed down through generations keep the legend alive, while unexplained phenomena continue to lure investigators, adventurers, and curious souls hoping to unravel the chilling mystery. The deeper one delves into the history and horror surrounding Clearwater Reservoir. The more it becomes clear that some places are shaped by the echoes of their past, and those echoes have sharp, unseen claws. The question remains, is it merely superstition fueled by tragic history? Or is something ancient and malevolent truly watching from below the lake's dark surface, forever bound to its watery grave? One thing is certain: those brave enough to seek answers often find themselves haunted long after they've left its shore. As word of Clearwater Reservoir's dark reputation spread beyond the county lines, it drew the attention of both skeptics eager to disprove local superstitions and paranormal enthusiasts convinced they'd uncover undeniable proof of the supernatural. Among them was a man named Vincent Hatt, a self-proclaimed paranormal investigator who had made a modest name for himself, documenting allegedly haunted sites throughout the southern United States. With a small crew and an array of equipment ranging from EMF detectors to thermal cameras, Vincent arrived in Clearwater during the height of a humid summer when the reservoir's surface shimmered like glass and the dense mist clung low over the water. Locals warned him against staying past dusk, their expressions grave, insisting the lake came alive under the cover of night, dismissing their concerns as folklore. Vincent set up camp along the southern shore, intent on conducting overnight surveillance. What began as a routine investigation took a sinister turn as dusk descended, and the world around the crew fell eerily silent. No crickets chirped, no frogs croaked, and even the wind seemed to hold its breath. Their equipment picked up faint, inexplicable spikes, readings that hinted at unseen energy moving through the area. Shadows danced where no figures stood, and soft voices seemed to call out from the water, just beyond the reach of their flashlights. The first truly unsettling incident occurred shortly after midnight, when Vincent's thermo camera captured a figure standing motionless on the lake. The figure emitted no heat signature, its outline barely visible against the darkness, but its shape was unmistakable, a human form, watching silently. When approached, it vanished without sound or trace, leaving only an unnatural cold lingering in the air. The following hours were filled with strange occurrences: stones thrown from unseen hands, soft knocks on the tent walls, and an overwhelming feeling of being watched by countless unseen eyes. Vincent's recordings captured faint whispers, one repeating the name Eliza in a mournful tone. The next morning, shaken but eager to review their footage, the team made a chilling discovery. Several of their cameras, which had been firmly placed on tripods facing the lake, had been inexplicably moved. One captured what appeared to be a pale hand reaching out from beneath the water's surface before vanishing in a burst of static. The footage was later analyzed by multiple experts, who could find no signs of tampering or manipulation. The legend of Clearwater Reservoir deepened further with accounts from nearby residents, like Ruth Marsden, an elderly woman who claimed the lake took her brother in the summer of 1948. According to her, he vanished while swimming near the sunken remnants of Marrow Glen's old chapel, a place long rumored to be a hotspot for strange activity. She recounted how, in the weeks following his disappearance, she would hear his voice calling to her from the woods, his tone pleading and desperate. Ruth's story was one of dozens passed down through generations, each adding another thread to the growing tapestry of the lake's haunted lore. Hikers reported strange symbols carved into trees along forgotten trails, signs that weren't there the day before, and spectral figures glimpsed in the periphery of their vision. Campers awoke to find their belongings inexplicably soaked in water despite no rain and no proximity to the shore. Paranormal research groups began referring to Clearwater as a thin place, a term used to describe locations where the boundary between the living and the dead is most fragile. As Vincent's findings circulated online, interest in the reservoir surged. Some came seeking answers, others seeking thrills, but many left with their own terrifying tales. A young couple reported hearing a lullaby sung by a woman's voice as they kayaked across the water, the melody ancient and mournful, carrying no discernible source. Their story, like countless others, served to reinforce the belief that Clearwater Reservoir was a place touched by something beyond comprehension, a patch of earth where time falters and the past clings stubbornly to the present. Despite warnings, the lake remained a popular yet feared destination, its reputation etched into local culture, its name spoken in hushed tones. The mystery of who or what haunts Clearwater deepened with each encounter, but one thing remained constant: the chilling certainty that, beneath its deceptively calm surface, the lake remembered. The shadows that lingered at dusk were not mere tricks of the light, and the voices that called out were not figments of a fearful imagination, but echoes of lives lost and souls trapped in a watery limbo forever, tethered to the place where their stories ended and the legend of Clearwater began. In the years following Vincent Hale's unnerving investigation, Clearwater Reservoir's legend grew into something more than local folklore. It became a phenomenon. Podcasts covered it. Amateur investigators traveled miles hoping to document their own experiences, and a documentary crew attempted to capture definitive proof of the lake's secrets. What they found only added new layers to the chilling story. One member of the crew, a sound technician named Meredith Gray, recorded what she believed to be one of the clearest paranormal voices ever documented. Late one evening, while monitoring audio levels by the shore, she captured a woman's voice murmuring a name, Eliza. The voice was soft, sorrowful, and inexplicably layered beneath the natural sounds of lapping water and rustling leaves. When played back, it sent shivers through the entire team, especially since no women were present at the site that night. Intrigued by the name's recurrence, local historian Anime Ridley dug deeper into county archives and uncovered the long-forgotten story of Eliza King, a 10-year-old girl who vanished in 1911 near what was then Marrow Glen. A small cross with her initials was discovered decades later on the reservoir estride bed during an unusually harsh drought, only to be quickly reclaimed by rising waters. This discovery seemed to validate what many feared, that the spirits of those buried under the lake, or perhaps those claimed by it, still lingered, their unfinished stories trapped beneath its surface. Campers and thrill-seekers who disregarded warnings continued to report unnerving encounters. A group of teenagers claimed to witness ghostly lights moving across the water's surface, while fishermen told of hearing footsteps on their boat decks in the dead of night, though no one else was there. The phenomenon of the singing shore, where mournful melodies carried over the water without origin, became one of the lake's most famous and disturbing features. Even the most skeptical visitors admitted to an oppressive heaviness that settled over them near dusk, as if unseen eyes tracked their every movement. By now, the local authorities avoided the area, and few residents dared venture near it after nightfall. Vincent Harley returned once more, determined to solve the mystery for good, armed with new technology and a deeper respect for the legends. On his final night by the water, his recordings captured something he refused to release. Publicly, a voice that called his name, followed by what he described only as a shadow moving across the water, leaving no ripple in its wake. Though Vincent never revealed that recording, he abandoned his paranormal investigation shortly after, leaving a single note behind. Some truths aren't meant to be found. Clearwater Reservoir remains as it always has, still, silent, and waiting. Its reflection masks a past too heavy to forget, and those who dare to disturb its waters often carry pieces of it with them forever. The legend endures, not because of mere superstition, but because too many accounts share eerie consistency. The lake is more than a haunted location. It's a living, breathing monument to forgotten sorrow and unspoken tragedy. Even now, campers wake to hear voices in the mist. Families lose items that wash up miles away on distant shores, and photographs taken along its banks occasionally capture more than intended. Faces where none should be, figures standing in the fog. Clearwater Reservoir remains one of the most chilling, unsolved mysteries in the region. A name spoken in cautious tones, a destination for the brave, and a reminder that some waters run deeper than they seem. And as long as the whispers continue and the water's glassy surface hides its restless past, those drawn to its shores will always find more than they bargained for, leaving viewers and believers alike asking one eternal question: what truly waits beneath the surface of Clearwater Reservoir?